So, starting from the back, one of the first jobs we did was adding the big country draw system. Good draw system. The only thing that really bugs me about the draw system is there's no handle. A lot of the draw systems, they have a push down handle, or the mechanism itself is a good handle, but you've actually got to sort of hook your fingers around that and give it a pull. Pulls out okay though, no problem with pulling out. And this is obviously my tool drawer. In this case, this one's mainly the camping gear, sort of jet boil and bits and pieces like that. But good strong draw system, quite heavy. I'd say the only really downside is there's no handle. And also another downside is it doesn't have a lockout. So a lot of draw systems, there's a mechanism, so when it's out like that, it's locked out. So if you were to put a sort of workbench over there, something like that, that would support any work you do. But if you're on a downhill slope, that one's just going to slide in. So that's another slight issue with that. Moving across to the tailgate table. This is an Italian made table, very good, very strong. I did a modification to this yesterday. I added that little handle on there yesterday because the bamboo must have swollen ever so slightly, so it's quite difficult to get out. Obviously I had that little, the Grenadier put in there. You've got an option when you order that from Tailgate Table that you can get that modification added onto it, but that's a great workspace. Jet boil fits in there, great. You've got magnet there for your knives and any other cutleries, and then we obviously use that using the L-track fixings just to hold our kitchen roll. So it's a really good modification, works well. I did actually sand that down yesterday because it was tight. Nothing else really inside. Next job for inside, I think, is I'm going to fit a 12 volts and some USB sockets in there. They've just arrived today, and I'll run that through and pick some fuses up under the seat. And then I can have some, when we're using this table here, we can plug and charge phones and cameras and things like that. Now, underneath, you'll see there's an orange plate on there. That's an Agile off-road new bash plate. Now what that new bash plate does, it gives you 4 inches extra ground clearance. You can't really see it from there. Let me try and get a better angle on that. Gives you an extra 4 inches of ground clearance. Now, in order to fit that plate, you've got to change your exhaust. Now you can see I've put a Miltech exhaust, but with just a back box. But what it does, it takes away the resonator box that's in the back of there, and it allows you to lift that higher. So, tyres perspective, so I've gone with a bigger tyre. So these are Coopers. Not had these on long, and these are a 295 70 17. So these are effectively the 33, just less than 33, so it gives you another bit of lift on that. The Buzz Overland rock sliders, it did have original rock sliders on to begin with, so it had the manufacturing ones on, which I expected at the time. However, it's difficult to get in and out because there's no footrest on them. But the Buzz Overland doubles up, rock slider, step, lots of grip in there, works really well. Coming around the front then, I had the retro fit red winch installed in there. Just had to take it out the other day because it's not working and it's all gone pink. So the red anodized bit has gone on there for some reason. It's faded away, so that's gone back to get repaired. The laser lights, this is a kit. Now I've got that fitted at Denton cars. There's a bit of cutting out to do to get that in there, but again, really good, really powerful. They are super lights, those. Highly recommend them. It's got the OEM roof rack on there. However, I did cut out all the steel that goes into there, because originally I couldn't get, I've got some side panels that fit on there, so they're not a molly panel, but they're very similar. They're from SLV in Australia, and they're really good, but they bolt on there and there, and you can't fit, when you've got the OEM roof rack on there with the steel that runs through, you can't fit lots of stuff on this rail. Now this rail is very, very useful for bits and pieces. So here I've mounted the steady light, which has the switches on either end, plugs in there. It's not the neatest of wiring jobs, but it comes with a very short piece of cable. I might actually take that off and rewire that, because I don't like the look of that. But again, using that handrail to mount equipment on there, so it's really, really good. And now I've modified this roof rack, it makes it a lot better. But I've also taken off, and the roof rack, if you look through there, the roof rack now only has 2 full length runners on there. You might be able to see it a little bit better from there. Now effectively, when you've got the roof tent on, you can't use all the roof rack anywhere. So I've taken those off. It makes it easier to fit the roof tent. It also makes it slightly lighter, and of course cutting the steel out of there makes it lighter as well. I did actually add this L-track on. I had to buy this L-track because this car didn't come with the L-track on it, so I only bought the bit for the back, so there's no L-track on there. Internally, what have we done on the inside? On the inside we've got the, I can't remember the name of those. Oh, Melville and Moon, of course. Melville and Moon, highly recommended. Great seat covers, lots of storage in them. You can see the storage there, the storage here in the front. And I've also got this dash cover. Now this isn't Melville and Moon. You can buy the Melville and Moon that goes with all this kit. It all fits together. However, for some reason I decided to go with black. Doesn't really have that safari look, but I went with the black because I think it keeps cleaner. And this is by not Australian, this is by a South African company called Escape Gear. Really good. Going round to the driver's side, not really a lot more to say about what I've modified on this. Oh yes, I did. Yeah, I just remembered I've done something else inside. So this little device here is called an Ultimate 9, and it plugs into the back of your accelerator. There's just, you'll see some cable there, the Ultimate 9. Now what that does, it changes your throttle response. Now any of those of you who are used to driving a Grenadier, when you stop at the junction, you've got a slight lag from when you put your foot down to when it actually kicks off and moves off the start. That will improve that. It doesn't fix it, but it improves it significantly. Now I run it on Ultimate 2. You won't be able to see that there because it'll be flashing, but it's on Ultimate 2. Ultimate 2 is pretty low down the range. You get launch mode. There's even a button on there. You can use an app to go with it. So you don't have to use the controller, but you can scroll through that and move up. You might not see that, but that's moving up. And then the left hand side button changes the mode. So you've got adaptive mode, economy, anti-wheel slip if you want to soften the throttle a little bit if you're off-road. You can go back to factory setting as well. Valet mode, Ultimate 9, which is the just maximum throttle response, and then back to the Ultimate itself, where you can actually just choose 1 to 9, and I run it on 2 and it runs really well. I think that's really it from mods. Oh no, I've added those on. Those Climber wind deflectors, really good. This car came with the snorkel, so I didn't have to add that on. So it's had 1 or 2 little bits, and I've just finished today. What I've been working on today, and you might have seen that, is I've put that other steady light on the back. So when that light times out, which it does eventually, then we've got a camp light here, lights up the table, and it'll light up quite a significant area behind the car. So yeah, I hope that's useful.